Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
The radar is quiet right now, and thankfully rain chances stay low today. I'll show you when rain chances start to creep back up coming up.
Boil order lifted, but some water customers are not in the clear just yet. How leaders are working to restore services to people affected by Chantel.
And presidential tour. The search for the missing continues as President Trump heads to Texas to see the devastation firsthand.
After those flooding rains this week, rain chances are finally going down here as we start our Friday afternoon together. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. A bit of a reprieve from the rain today. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is here to show us what our rain chances are looking like through the weekend to help us plan. Amy.
At least the rain chances are low today, just a 20% chance today. This is a live look at our dual Doppler 5000. The only rain I could find is south of Roanoke, Virginia. So right now things are quiet. I can't rule out an isolated shower or storm. We have a lot of moisture at the surface, a little bit drier as you go up in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, which is limiting rain chances today, but we can't call it a 0% chance. A 20% chance through the day today. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds, but thankfully we should be drying out in many locations today, which is exactly what we need. A live look at downtown Raleigh. We have a little bit of blue sky, a little bit of cloud cover. It is warm and it is steamy outside. It's 83 degrees right now in Durham, 78 in Holly Springs, 78 in Garner, 76 in Cary with a mix of sun and clouds out there. Everyone dry right now. If you want to head to the pool this afternoon, just a slim chance for a shower or storm. It does heat up. 89 at 1 p.m., 91 at 1 o'clock, and then our high temperature around 92 this afternoon. So it is going to be a hot day today. Our rain chances are down, but the temperature is going up. 92 for the high, but then you factor in the dew point, and it's going to feel more like 102. So not heat advisory criteria, but certainly a hot day. Looking ahead to the weekend, rain chances are going to start to go up a little bit, especially on Sunday. Afternoon and evening storms are possible. Neither day is a washout, which is good news, but some storms possible, some afternoon and evening storms both days. It will continue to stay hot through the weekend, the heat index in the triple digits. I'll talk about next week's storm chances coming up.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, day 2 of the search for a man believed to have drowned in the Nutbush Recreation State Park in Henderson, North Carolina. First responders got a call yesterday in reference to a drowning near the boat ramp off Jack Wade Farm Lane. Authorities identified the victim as Robert Mitchell of Henderson. No word yet on how this all happened. We're working to get some more information about Mr. Mitchell and how this all happened. As soon as we get any new information, we'll be able to share it with you here in the WRAL Live Center.
In less than an hour, we expect to get an update on efforts to restore water and sewer services in Hillsborough. Flash flooding sent raw sewage into the Eno River, prompting a boil water order. That notice has been lifted, but people are asked to conserve now. WRAL's Flynn Snyder is live at Hillsborough's wastewater treatment plant. Flynn, what do we expect to hear from them today?
Well, Jeff, pump stations here along the Eno River were among those that flooded during Tropical Storm Chantal. Town officials say they've installed pumps to remove any remaining sewage overflows. Today, we expect more of an update about the efforts underway to get this facility back up and running fully again. We also expect town leaders to discuss the loss of roughly $7 million in federal grants that would have gone towards critical water and sewer projects here. That includes relocating a pump away from the Eno River and building a water boost station to allow the town to receive water in emergencies. The need for upgrades to the water sewer system here is something many residents tell me is top of mind for them here in the wake of that recent flooding.
They have had problems before with exposure to flooding. I understand that there was a FEMA grant that they were supposed to receive, but that was canceled lately, so they're back to square one.
Now, it did take a couple days for that boil water advisory to be lifted while the city, or the town rather, set up a connection with the city of Durham so that they could receive clean water here in Hillsborough. Residents are still being advised to conserve water at this point. That update from town officials set to get underway here in just under an hour at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Flint Snyder, WRAL News, live in Hillsborough.
People in Mebane are under tight water restrictions. Some progress is being made. The town is allowing businesses to reopen with 60% of its workforce. Everyone can also start using water again, but must drop use by 60%. Restrictions have been in place since Chantal flooded the city's water treatment plant. Business owners say the lack of water access has put a strain on them.
Even if we were given the go back ahead, we would all have to replenish, restock, re-prep, and then still take time to get ready to go. So we're not done yet.
While water production is returning, a timeline for full restoration is still unclear.
Hey, look at a video from Drone 5 in Durham. Stagecoach Road is closed right now from NC 751 to Keeneland Court due to flooding in several spots. This was all brought on by Chantal, and if you see high water, do not attempt to drive through it because it only takes a few inches of water to cause you to lose control of your vehicle. The power is back on for hundreds of customers in Raleigh after a lightning strike hit a tree and knocked down power lines. Ali Kadlubar was there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker as crews cleared the tree and restored that power. She spoke with people who witnessed the lightning strike.
Yes, and this is that tree that lightning struck last night. You can see where lightning hit and then sent a limb crashing down right here. You can see that impact, just a crater right here on the sidewalk. It crashed down, burst onto the sidewalk, and then pulled down some utility lines. That homeowner did speak with us today. He says he not only witnessed this all happening, but it almost fell on him.
And I heard it crack and ran down the street, and it missed me, but some branches came and knocked me down.
David Burt says he got lucky.
No injuries, hardly a scratch.
He was one of more than 300 customers who lost power for more than 9 hours last night.
Yeah, it went off as soon as it hit the line there.
Large limbs hit utility lines around 6:30. Nearby residents tell me a lightning bolt struck the tree. It sent 2 limbs crashing down. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there when crews worked overnight to make repairs. City crews spent the morning clearing up debris. As for Bert, he plans to tackle the mess in his front yard today as well.
I have to do some cleanup.
We're still working to find out when crews are going to come back and fix these utility lines draping right here. Also, Parks and Rec says they're going to have to cut down that tree eventually. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
Remember to stay safe when severe weather hits your area, and when it is safe, we'd like to see what you're seeing. Take some pictures or video and send it to us. WRAL.com/reported. You can upload what you see there, and then we will share your pictures and video on television and online.
From local flooding and severe weather to the devastation in Texas, President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump are headed to the Lone Star State to survey the damage from last week's floods. The president is also expected to meet with state and local officials, as well as the families of the victims. NBC's Jay Gray is in Kerrville, Texas, where 121 are dead and more than 170 are missing.
Well, look, we're into day 8 of the search effort here after catastrophic flooding in the Texas Hill Country. Teams out and working through the rubble, the debris left behind from that flooding. We now know, tragically, more than 120 have died as a result of what's happened here. 160 or more are still missing. And President Trump traveling to the strike zone today. He will tour some of the devastation here, and then we know he's going to visit with families of the victims, families of those still missing, and some of those who have lost everything in these floods, their homes destroyed. He's going to spend some time on the ground, several hours on the ground here, and he plans to also thank the first responders who have gathered from around the country, around the world, to help in the effort here. We know that in Kerr County alone, where we are, there are more than 2,000 first responders on the ground continuing to work around the clock here. And they say that they're going to stay until everyone is found, till they can find some closure for these families who are struggling. The president also plans to let the people of this region of Central Texas know that the federal government will be here for as long as necessary as well. There is no question this is going to be a long, a very difficult recovery that really right now is only just beginning. That's the latest right now from Kerrville. I'm Jay Gray, NBC News.
President Trump threatened a 35% tariff on Canada. That's a sharp escalation in the ongoing trade war, but as you can see, it is pulling down stocks. The Dow is down 365 points right now. The S&P 500, as well as NASDAQ, also down, not by as much. But yesterday, all three markets were up. Today, a very different stories as the trade war continues.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, a major fine for CVS Pharmacy. A New York judge this week ordering the pharmacy company, the Omnicare division of that company, to pay more than $9 million in penalties and damages. The fine is a result of a whistleblower lawsuit claiming CVS fraudulently billed the U.S. government for invalid drug prescriptions. That lawsuit accused CVS of filing more than 3.3 million false claims between 2010 and 2018. CBS plans to appeal this judgment. Of course, we'll keep you updated on any new developments concerning this story.
Next at noon, a man wrongly deported is facing human smuggling charges in Tennessee. What got under the judge's skin this morning in court?
Also, FBI detecting lies. How the Bureau plans to use polygraphs to determine allegiance.
Plus, sifting through a wave of insurance claims, how state agencies are helping people swamped in paperwork.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
This morning, a judge in Tennessee expressed frustration that the Department of Justice has not produced a detainer for Kilmar Abrego Garcia, despite her asking for it in court yesterday. Abrego Garcia was wrongly deported to El Salvador in mid-March. He was brought back to the U.S. to face charges of human smuggling. Abrego Garcia's attorney says the Trump administration hasn't decided whether his client would remain in the U.S. to stand trial.
Decided where they're going to detain Mr. Abrego Garcia. They haven't decided where they're going to send Mr. Abrego Garcia. They know they're going to send him somewhere, but they haven't decided where to send him. So the concern is that ICE has a plane, gassed up and waiting on the tarmac. And that's why we're here in court, to make sure that they are not able to do what they did last time.
Abrego Garcia could be released and turned over to the Department of Homeland Security as soon as Wednesday.
A Columbia University protester who spent more than 100 days in immigration detention is taking legal action against the Trump administration. Mahmoud Khalil is seeking $20 million, claiming the administration targeted him for his political beliefs. His attorneys say the arrest and deportation efforts were retaliation for Khalil's pro-Palestinian advocacy. In lieu of payment, Khalil says he'd accept an official apology and a rollback of what he calls a policy targeting students for their speech. FBI Director Kash Patel is ramping up lie detector tests in an effort to stop leaks. A number of senior officials and agents have been grilled on whether they have said anything negative about Patel. In one case, workers were polygraphed to try to find out who told the news media that Patel had demanded a service weapon despite not being an agent working in the field.
A Davidson County man and his family have been literally cut off from everyone. The recent flooding from Chantal washed away the only road in and out of their property. Sierra Sowers spoke with the family, who says nothing like this has happened in their 24 years living in Thomasville.
Our water is pretty amazing, but still, I can't fathom it.
What was once a narrow, beautiful pond in front of Philip Young's home is now a cliff with no safe way of getting across. A couple of friends are visiting him from Florida. What was supposed to be a one-night stay turned into a different adventure.
The water washed over the driveway and just pushed all the trees and everything, and it just uprooted. This is what happened. It was pretty shocking when I walked around here for the first time.
Although you'll see Young in our interview, it could only be done through the phone and our Zoom lens due to safety. Young says conditions on Wednesday looked normal at first. Then into the night, water started rushing in a way he's never seen before.
We had a lot of rain, obviously. This beautiful pond was fed by two creeks on either side of my house. And the water, it was like, I've never seen anything like it, the amount of water that's come through here. And it just overwhelmed my drain system and flowed over the driveway and just ended up collapsing this part of the dam. I never fathomed, or it was a little overwhelming to look at because I just really couldn't comprehend what I was looking at.
Just 30 minutes later, all the water was gone, but so was his road.
Into the pond, I thought it looked like there was just debris in there. I didn't know that it had completely drained until I walked around here and saw what I saw here.
On the path, one lone duck looked pretty confused to see his home dried up and ruined. Young says in the 24 years he's lived there, the extent of the flood damage was something he was not expecting.
You could have a little washout. This never crossed my mind. Something as catastrophic as this is never, ever crossed. This reminds me of the pictures I saw up in the mountains.
And now to Vermont, where communities are experiencing a bit of deja vu after floodwaters ripped apart roads, and swift water rescue teams were called in to help. Roads like that one could be closed for some time as another round of repairs gets underway. Structures were heavily damaged after 5 inches of rain fell in just 3 hours in some areas. One man says July 10th is a day that he has come to dread, and that's because for the last 3 years, he and his neighbors have been caught in the impact zone.
So many familiar sights just like that all around the country. Glad to get a break here, Amy, for certain.
Yeah, at least for today.
Right?
Just a 20% chance. I know, yeah. Unfortunately, it's going up, but we need to dry out. It's been a mess for the last several days. Some of you have had way too much rain, and we need a day like today with just a 20% chance of a stray shower or storm. Tomorrow it goes up to a 30% chance, still pretty low, and then a 40% chance on Sunday. So we will have a lot of dry time over the weekend. Monday, we're back to a 60% chance for rain, and Tuesday, it's back up to a 50% chance for rain. So why do we get a little bit of a break today? We look at the water vapor imagery. This is satellite data, moisture in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. And we notice some dry air that's starting to work in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. We still have some moisture down here at the surface. You can feel that as you step outside. But as we have some of that drier air a little bit higher up in the atmosphere, it limits rain chances just a little bit. But we can show you we do have some rain. Despite that dry air in the mid-levels, we have some rain in the North Carolina mountains. So we can't rule out a stray shower or storm today. It's just overall the chances are pretty low, which is certainly some good news. I think everybody's excited that we have very small rain chances for today. And we'll show you that with Futurecast, just a stray shower or an isolated storm possible this afternoon or this evening. A lot of you will stay dry overnight tonight. Should be a quiet night. And then we'll wake up to some sunshine Saturday morning. We get into the afternoon and evening, some hit and miss showers and storms possible, but a lot of you will likely stay dry through Saturday as well. And then Sunday, rain chances go up just a little bit. I want to show you the visible satellite imagery. This shows us where the clouds are. And in Wake County, if you look here, the northern half of Wake County, we have a lot of sunshine. We still have a little bit of cloud cover in the southwestern part of Wake County. The clouds are still over Apex, but they're starting to thin out a little bit. And then you go to the airport just to the north a little bit, and they have a lot of sunshine out at RDU. And so the temperature is now starting to go up because the sun's coming out more and more. 83, the current temperature in Raleigh and Durham, 84 in Rocky Mount, 80 in Southern Pines right now. The dew point is in the 70s, and so it is going to feel pretty hot in the peak heating hours this afternoon. This is what it could feel like: 102 in Raleigh, 101 in Lewisburg, 101 in Sanford. So it is definitely hot out there. The rain chances go down, and then we have to deal with the heat, but I think probably everybody's okay with that. The evening planner, maybe you have some Friday night plans that take you outside. Just a 20% chance for a shower. We'll be in the 80s through about 9 o'clock, and then back down into the 70s by 10 o'clock. So pretty quiet today, thankfully. Saturday, just a 30% chance for storms. It's a high of 96, so it's going to be a hot day. The heat index up to about 103. 94 Sunday, slightly better chance for storms. And get ready for Monday. We're back to a 60% chance for storms, and rain chances stay fairly high Tuesday and Wednesday as well.
Amy, thank you. Coming up on WRAL News at 4 p.m., dealing with insurance after a flood event can make your head spin. 5 on your side will help you navigate the choppy waters of claims and coverage.
And at 6, Durham police believe one man is linked to more than a dozen stolen cars, gang activity, drive-by shootings, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in thefts spanning the Triangle and beyond. WRAL investigates, looks into the most recent charges. Well, still ahead, this new wearable AI, the new devices Samsung is considering bringing to the market.
Plus, package protection, what you can do to prevent thieves from stealing items off your porch.
Amazon's Prime Day deals end today, but other retailers are also slashing prices in order to compete. While consumers are saving on all those purchases, all the boxes piling up outside your door could be enticing thieves. Jen Sullivan explains how you can protect those items.
Online shoppers are scoring hot summer deals right now, with retailers like Amazon offering big discounts.
Prime Day is really exciting for us.
Richard Rocha with Amazon says Prime Day members bought 375 million items worldwide in 2023. Other big box retailers are also slashing prices. And while shoppers are seizing the discounts, thieves could be seizing the opportunity to steal your stuff as packages pile up outside homes.
It is a crime of opportunity.
Corey Colleton with Security.org says they looked at crime data and found more than 58 million packages were stolen in 2024. While Amazon says the vast majority of packages are delivered without any issues, there are things customers can do to make sure their items are safe.
They're able to track their packages in real time when they're about to be delivered. And then when they do get delivered, there's a photo that's sent to you so you can see exactly where it was put.
Rocha also says customers can leave notes about their delivery, like drop off behind the house. Certain items can be delivered to a hub locker at no additional cost, and you can schedule to have your items delivered on a day you are home. So what should you do if your packages are stolen? Amazon says call customer service to get it fixed.
We're all about convenience, so we want to make sure that customers have the best way that they can get something that's most convenient for them.
And call the police.
It is a crime and it's taking place on your personal property.
While security cameras can help you catch thieves in the act, law enforcement recommends not engaging with a thief.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, a major recall affecting more than 850,000 Ford vehicles because of a low-pressure fuel pump that could fail. Now, these recalls include various makes and models between 2021 and 2023, including the Expedition, the Navigator, the Bronco, the F-150 trucks, and 7 other makes and models. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says a failed fuel pump could result in the engine stalling while in use. Now, with all this in mind, Ford has had more safety recalls in the first 6 months of the year than any other car company ever had in an entire calendar year. Now, Ford maintains most are expansions of earlier recalls and its goal of improving quality. If you own any of these makes and models, you're encouraged to contact that local Ford dealership.
Ken, thanks. Samsung is looking to expand its inventory of wearable devices. The company is making earrings, rings, and necklaces that allow people to communicate without having a phone. Samsung and other tech companies routinely develop prototypes and then test them internally without bringing them to market. Some tech startups have already unsuccessfully tried to develop new AI gadgets to replace smartphones at doing certain tasks. YouTube is shutting down its trending video page after 10 years. The platform says fewer people are using it now that there are more ways to find and search viral videos. The trending page will be phased out over the next couple of weeks. YouTube says it will continue with its personalized recommendations.
Wading through paperwork. We're live with how state agencies are helping people navigate insurance in the aftermath of Chantal.
Close-up captured. What NASA hopes new images of the sun reveals. And here's a look at your winning North Carolina Education Lottery numbers. Good luck.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
As floodwaters recede, the focus turns to recovery. WRAL's Monica Casey is live in Carrboro. Monica, this was one of the hardest hit areas, and a lot of folks are needing help to get their lives back on track.
Yeah, Renee, that's right. This is the Victim Assistance Center here in the Southern Branch Library on Greensboro Street in Carrboro. A whole host of people inside here ready to help, including the Department of Insurance, the Orange County Health Department, Habitat for Humanity, and more. I spoke with a representative from the Department of Insurance about what he has been seeing in our area. He was at an assistance center like this one over in Durham yesterday, and he tells me, unfortunately, a lot of people did not have flood insurance. Now, if you were impacted by these storms in the area, he says the first step after you are safe is to call your insurance provider to check if you have flood insurance. From there, the State Department of Insurance can help you figure out what's next, connecting you with relief organizations and making sure your insurance company is following your policy. Now, we are also looking into how you can prepare for the next storm, even if you weren't impacted by this one. We'll have that story coming up on WRAL this afternoon. Live in Carrboro, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
As we close in on the weekend, a lot of families may be planning trips to places like local state parks. Many of those parks, though, are still trying to clean up after Chantal. Flooding from the storm damaged parks throughout central North Carolina, from Carr Lake to the Lumber River. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at Jordan Lake, where officials say dangers still lurk after the storm.
Right now, we're at the Farrington Point boat ramps here at Jordan Lake, and you can see that this sign here says that the ramp area is closed due to high water levels. So this is just one of the areas here that are a part of Jordan Lake that are closed. The lake is about 13 feet above its usual water level, according to state park officials. You can see how high that is in this video. 6 state parks are either shut down or partially closed due to high water levels and storm damage. The director of North Carolina Parks, Brian Strong, says they're hoping to reopen most of those parks next week, but water levels would have to go down first before they can even start to clean up. Piles of debris now make it dangerous for people to go out on the water.
You don't know what's under there, so really be safe when you're out there, especially if the water remains murky for a while. You can't see the bottom when you go down. You got to be really careful about what's there and what's not there, what's been moved around.
We'll keep you updated on when these parks can fully reopen. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News at Jordan Lake.
Power is back on for hundreds in Raleigh after a lightning strike hit a tree, knocking down power lines. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there as crews worked for hours to get that tree cleared from Pogue Street. The lightning strike happened around 6:30 last night, and it brought down power lines and knocked out power to hundreds of people. We spoke with a neighbor who saw the lightning strike happen.
The first branch fell across the street, and I was worried that it hit my car, and so I went out and was standing under the tree when the second branch fell, and I heard it crack and ran down the street, and it missed me, but some branches came and knocked me down.
How scary was that? The neighbor said he wasn't hurt, but he was definitely in shock after what happened. Power was restored to people in that area a little after 3 this morning. That's after about 9 hours without power.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, a major setback in an attempt to bring an end to the case against the accused mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks. Today, a divided appeals court threw out an agreement that would have allowed accused September 11th mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed to plead guilty in a deal that would have spared him the risk of execution for al-Qaeda's 2001 attacks. Now, today's decision unravels an attempt to wrap up this more than 2 decades old military prosecution in this case. Mohammed is accused of developing and planning one of the deadliest attacks ever on the United States. We are working to find out what's next in this case. Look for new reporting starting at 4 right here in WRAL.
A letter from the Trump administration says Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell may have broken the law. At issue is the renovation of the central bank's headquarters in Washington, D.C. Amy Kiley reports the accusation is the latest in a series of personal or policy attacks against the Fed chair by the president and his administration.
Clearly, they're trying to make the case, and I actually think it makes sense.
A White House official denies a new letter seeks to lay the groundwork for ousting Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Many analysts disagree.
So I think there's a compelling policy to do that. Whether or not they can legally do it before next year remains to be seen.
The letter from the White House Office of Management and Budget is about the planned renovation of the Fed headquarters. It alleges Powell failed to comply with government oversight regulations and lied to Congress about what the work entails.
There's no VPI dining room. There's no new marble. We took down the old marble. We're putting it back up.
It's no secret. President Donald Trump wants Powell out.
He should resign immediately. We should get somebody in there that's going to lower interest rates.
But he probably can't fire Powell for that reason. Supreme Court rulings forbid it. And analysts say the stock market could tank. They say Trump would need to find some other cause or convince Powell to quit.
He is going to make his life as miserable as possible.
Powell says the board probably would have cut interest rates if Trump hadn't imposed sweeping tariffs. Most economists say they're inflationary. But the president argues tariffs are good for the country. He has more planned to start August 1st.
If we keep piling tariffs on, then we're going to have to keep waiting.
Close up of the sun, new images from a NASA probe, and what scientists hope to learn from them.
And training new air traffic controllers. The program getting newbies ready to take on the job that airports desperately need to fill right now. Remember, you can always watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device. NASA's giving us some new incredible images of the surface of the sun. These are pictures from the Parker Solar Probe. It passed about 4 million miles away from the solar surface. That's the closest any probe has ever gotten to the sun. Scientists say these pictures may have helped them better understand how the solar wind affects us here on Earth. The town of Morrisville wants you to help out with the next public art project. They want some inputs on the sculptures that they're going to put around the town to reflect its character and culture. You're encouraged to submit your ideas on the town's Facebook or Instagram posts through August 10th. The concept that's picked will be the foundation for a future public art installation.
Tickets are now on sale for this year's Carolina Panthers Fan Fest. It's happening on Saturday night, August 2nd at Bank of America Stadium. Fans will get to watch an open team practice. There will also be performances by the Panthers entertainment teams, as well as fireworks and a laser show. Tickets are $5. Former Duke star Cooper Flagg made his NBA Summer League debut last night. He suited up for the Dallas Mavericks in their game against the LA Lakers. Flagg scored 10 points as the Mavericks got the win against LA, 87-85.
Prison problems. 2 workers off the job after a convicted killer walked out of the facility. The errors that led to the escape.
FAA Fast Track, how new enhanced training allows graduates to bypass academy steps and move directly to facilities. Welcome back. This is a live look from the WRAL Garner Tower, taking you up above the clouds there. No storm clouds to speak of, just the beautiful white puffy ones and sunshine getting through. We are drying out. Your temperature's in the 80s right now. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. 2 employees at an Arkansas prison where an inmate escaped in May have been fired for policy violations. One of the fired workers allowed the escapee, Grant Hardin, onto an outside kitchen dock unsupervised. The other employee worked in a tower and opened the gate for Hardin without confirming his identity. Hardin was wearing a makeshift law enforcement uniform when he walked out of the prison May 25th. He was captured on June 6th, about 1.5 miles away from the facility. Authorities say there is no evidence that employees assisted Hardin.
A judge sentenced a convicted stowaway to time served, but she remains in custody. Svetlana Dali spent 7 months in federal custody for sneaking onto a Delta flight from New York City to Paris. Last November, she got through a security checkpoint and boarded a flight without a ticket. The 57-year-old told the judge she tried to flee the U.S. to avoid unknown people she says were poisoning her. No word yet on when she will be tried for the Connecticut incident. An 8.5-hour flight from Madrid to New York's JFK airport turned into a 29-hour layover, leaving passengers frustrated. Delta Airlines says an engine problem forced Flight 127 to make a sharp left turn and make an emergency landing at the closest airport was Air Force Base in the Azores. That's part of Portugal's remote island chain in the Atlantic Ocean. Delta says it provided customers with meals and hotels, but some booked their own. One passenger says he and others felt abandoned.
Meanwhile, the Federal Aviation Administration is ramping up efforts to address air traffic controller shortages. The agency is preparing people for the real-world demands and responsibilities of the job. First, trainees go through a basics course. Then they'll move on to the tower or the radar room. And depending which options they choose, students will then go through 40 to 59 days of specialized classroom and simulation training.
Phraseology is one of the most important pieces for safety that we do. It's making sure that the pilot completely understands the instruction that you just gave him.
In addition to training, the nation's air traffic control system will receive more than $11 billion to modernize it.
Time to play ball out at the D-BAT for the Durham Bulls, and aren't they lucky, huh?
Right?
They picked the right night to start a homestand.
Exactly. Rain chances are finally down, and I think the game will be just fine. It's just going to be a little bit hot.
Awesome.
And there's still tickets available, and they are cheap, $16. The game gets started at 6:35 this evening, and again, I think the rain is going to be okay. We just have a 20% chance for a stray shower or storm today. 83 is the current temperature out at the airport, out at RDU, where we have some sunshine. The heat index is 90. So it is hot. The humidity is a little bit high today. Right now it's 83 at the airport, 81 in Garner, 80 in Fuquay-Varina. It's 85 degrees right now in Zebulon and 84 in Rollsville. The dew point 73, so we are in the tropical category, which is why the feels like temperature is a little bit higher than the actual air temperature. If you want to head to the pool today, while I can't rule out an isolated shower or storm, it's not going to be anything widespread. It will be hot. We'll have a high temperature around 92 this afternoon, and then we'll cool back down to the upper 80s by 6 o'clock. So if you are headed to the Bulls game at the start time, temperatures should be in the mid to upper 80s for that. The weekend planner, it's going to be hot on Saturday. We'll have a high of 96. The heat index could get up to about 103. And we have a 30% chance for an afternoon or evening storm, but a lot of dry time on Saturday. Sunday, especially the first half of the day, should be dry. A few storms possible in the afternoon. About a 40% chance for some showers and storms on Sunday with a high of 94. So temperatures are going up as we progress into the weekend. A look at how much rain we could get through the weekend, and this is good news. It's not much, about 1/10 to maybe 1/4 of an inch of rain possible through the weekend. If you're headed to the coast, it's a very summer-like weather pattern for them. Some afternoon and evening storms we can't rule out because of the sea breeze front. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s to low 90s across the North Carolina coast Saturday. On Sunday, pretty much the same thing. A slightly better chance for some afternoon storms for some spots along the coast. Temperatures are mainly in the upper 80s to low 90s. If you're headed the opposite direction, you want to go to the mountains, take the rain gear. Showers and storms are likely tomorrow in the North Carolina mountains, especially the second half of the day. Temperatures will range from the low 70s in the higher elevations to upper 80s in the lower elevations. And Sunday, it doesn't really look better. There's a decent chance for showers and storms Sunday, especially the second half of the day. Temperatures will be similar in the mid 70s at Grandfather Mountain, perhaps 91 at Bryson City, 92 in Murphy, and 89 in Asheville. So a little bit wet for the North Carolina mountains this weekend. At least ours in central North Carolina and for the coast are a little bit more hit and miss. It is going to be hot and steamy for the next several days. The heat index up to about 102 today. We'll stay in triple-digit heat index values through at least Monday. It's still hot Tuesday and Wednesday, just not as hot as it will be the next few days. So rain chances are low today, 92 for the high. Afternoon and evening storms are possible through the weekend with high temperatures in the mid-90s.
Thank you, Amy. Record-breaking Birkin, the original bag ordered for practicality, rakes in millions at auction. The winning bid next.
We wrap things up with a look at a few of the headlines we are following for you today. Hillsborough officials are providing an update today about efforts to restore water and sewer services. Flash flooding sent raw sewage into the Eno River, prompting a boil order. That notice has been lifted, but people are still asked to conserve. Town officials say another huge challenge is the loss of roughly $7 million in federal grants for critical water and sewer projects.
Power is back on for hundreds of customers in Raleigh after a lightning strike hit a tree, knocking down power lines. The lightning strike happened around 6:30 last night on Pogue Street. No one was hurt. Power was restored a little after 3 this morning after about 9 hours.
This weekend, parks at some state parks in our area are closed because of storm damage from Chantal. 6 state parks are either shut down or partially closed due to high water levels and flood damage. Jordan Lake is about 13 feet above its usual water level, according to park officials. Piles of debris are making it dangerous for people to go out on the water, and we are working to learn more about efforts to release water from Jordan Lake and when it and other parks will be able to fully reopen.
The original Birkin bag sells for more than $10 million in Paris. Bidding started at a little over $1 million. There it is. The 10-minute bidding war ended with the winning bid from Japan being about $10.1 million. Hermes commissioned the bag for entertainer Jane Birkin in 1984. She received royalties from the name, but reportedly donated them each year to charities.
Wildlife experts in Florida are once again asking people to not disturb sea turtle nests after a group was captured on video tampering with a nest. Tourists noticed adults and children surrounding a marked sea turtle nest right along Bradenton Beach, and they reported it. After sunset, witnesses say the tampering got worse. Photos and videos show the group shining bright lights into the nest and along the beach there.
Should not touch or tamper with the nest site. Don't touch the turtles, don't touch the eggs, don't dig in the area, and not to use lights anywhere near the nest.
And a reminder, all the same goes for our beaches here as well. Most of the nest made it to the Gulf, but also found disoriented hatchlings dead in the road nearby.
Our pet of the day is a very round and sassy short-haired cat. This is Linda. The 7-year-old spayed female is an independent lady who wants to be super affectionate on her terms. Linda is also a huge fan of being brushed. She is low energy, spends most of the day spying on neighbors through the windows. Now, if you're interested in adopting Linda, contact the SPCA of Wake County at the number on your screen, 919-772-2326.
The curious Linda the cat. Coming up on WRAL News at 4 o'clock, Durham police believe one man is linked to more than a dozen stolen cars, gang activity, drive-by shootings, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in thefts spanning the Triangle and beyond. WRAL Investigates looks into the most recent charges.
Just a 20% chance of rain today, so make the most of this dry time and enjoy the sunshine.
Could be baseball time. DBAP, homestand starts tonight. Good stuff.
All right. We hope you enjoy your weekend. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update in 30 minutes.
And you get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Have a great day out there.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.